Darkcast Network. Indie pods with a dark side.
Welcome back to Castles and Cryptids, where the castles are haunted and the cryptids are cryptic as fuck. And I'm Alanna.
And I'm Kelsey.
And we're back for another episode. What episode number is it? 172? That sounds right.
Yeah,
For
I
some
think
reason,
so.
my episode list seems to go from 171 to 173. I don't
Oh,
think because I just scratch it out if we change a topic or have to put out a bonus one a week or something when we have to make minor
yeah.
adjustments as we do sometimes.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's crazy. Like, yeah, we're almost on 175. It's like right around the
Yeah,
corner.
we're inching our way to 200. It's crazy.
Limping our way. We're at 175 and still alive. Yeah, we'll be like, all right. That's crazy though. Yeah, some of my favorite podcasts are like 400, and I'm like, that sounds insane. But then also,
damn.
well, 200 is just half of that.
Yeah, I mean,
it's crazy. But somehow you guys keep coming back.
yes.
So we appreciate it. Or if this is your first one, goodbye. You've already turned us off. No. Like, get to the point.
Yeah.
No, I just speed people up because I'm like, it helps me pay attention better when I'm like, la 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 la. Are they going to talk about the topic? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. We're talking about more crimes on the water, which is what I was thinking of calling it. Like smoke on the water.
Yeah.
But death and murder and smoke and fire and all the bad things on the water. It's Kelsey's idea this time. I love it. We keep going back though. It's like that bruise that you just can't keep poking.
Yeah. It's like I like our reoccurring series we have going on. We have a couple of them.
I know. Yeah, we're gonna do another one coming up here in a series for next week. So
Yeah.
one of our other favorite topics.
Yeah.
You have to stay till the end to find out what that is. So that's the hook. Yeah, I have one that I picked that I had heard about on Unsolved Mysteries, and they always pick good cases.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I did my best, but like it'd be good for people that maybe don't watch the show, and then if they want to hear more, they can go there. Because I can't do better than like interviews with the family and stuff. But
right, yeah, like a television production that they have millions of dollars. What you mean, Alanna? Come on, don't sell yourself
short. But I can
summarize
that show.
Yeah, I can summarize the episode.
I can summarize the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And then maybe theorize a little. Maybe we see what people on Reddit had to say. Yeah. Oh my God. Funny. But before we spoil too much about mine, I don't know. Should we just dive into it? What do we do? We were chatting before this, so now I'm like...
I know. Yeah, we could get right into it.
All right. We shall. Gordo's done sneezing on the mic now, so it's like...
Yeah, that was so funny.
It could be mere seconds before he makes another interruption that might not be as cute.
I don't know. He left the room. I think we offended him. He's like,
see? He already turned us off.
Yeah.
He's
It's
like,
like, oh,
I'm out. Ew, I think I saw something today that said somebody was encouraging Mr. Orange Thumb Face there, Donald Trump, to do a 30-minute podcast. Maybe they just don't want him to like get on social media.
No, I would love it. And then he can say something really, really bad. And then we can arrest him for some reason because he just loves to talk. And I'm sure if people let him talk long enough, he would accidentally say
Say,
something criminal.
Kofife?
Yeah.
All the Kofife and the bodies are hidden in the basement. All right, we won't go down that road. Or
No.
else they'll title this portion of the podcast
Political.
Trump's podcast or something. Yes, because Spotify will just pick that.
Yeah, it'll be like, they said the T word 6 times. They're a political news.
No.
No.
I didn't do it. It's like swearing. It's a big no-no.
Yeah.
All right, what is your case? What did you settle on? See, I thought you had a case picked, but then you had like a short list of cases or something to pick
I
from
did.
instead.
Yeah, I kind of looked at some of them and was like, which one do I want to do?
Nice.
Yeah, this is the one I settled on. This one
best.
was pretty mysterious, I'd say. Don't really know a whole lot. There's people that have like dedicated, because it's an older case, people have like dedicated decades to like researching it and everything, trying to figure out what happened exactly, because we're still not really sure. So
Oh no, a cold case.
yes, if you haven't heard of it, and I'm hoping you haven't, it's pretty interesting. It's the Coulthurst family. It happened in Alaska in 1982.
I mean, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Coulthurst?
I think I ran across it on like a listicle or something, and then when I was looking more into it, I was like, this is just like weird. Like it kind of stuck with me, and I was like, I think I need to cover this at some point.
Right. The amount of times I write a short list from a listicle when we're choosing a topic where I'm like, there's just too many. Like sorry. Yeah, we don't have to like be beggars because there's so much to choose from, which is sad. But,
right.
like,
yeah.
Great for our content. Right.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
So it's the morning of September 6th, 1982, when police get notified about a fishing boat that is on fire. It's like a huge fireball. There's videos you can actually watch because people on nearby fishing boats kind of went up to it and they were filming it. Like, it's actually pretty crazy. I put a couple pictures up on the drive. One of them is like one of the images off of like one of the videos. And it was kind of, I think it was inside, like kind of an inlet in the Alaskan fishing village of Craig. It was like, that was the closest area to it.
Damn. I might have to look because I'm trying to picture a fishing boat on fire, and then my brain also sometimes keeps picturing like there's a meme where there's a little literal dumpster fire, but the dumpster's also like floating down the street in a bunch of water.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. Okay. It's huge. Like the entirety of the top of the boat is flames, I'd say, that are at least 10 feet tall, and there's like black smoke just billowing into the air. It looks crazy.
Oh yikes. Okay.
It's engulfing like the whole boat. As I said, there was multiple onlookers that end up recording it on video. It's like an inferno. It's wild. And the boat.
Okay.
The boat was called the Investor, and on board it at the time of the fire was the Coulthurst family, along with 4 teenage deckhands that they worked with.
Oh my god.
Crew. Yeah.
Oh, I feel like there's like a pun in the name there, but it's pretty horrifying. So Yeah, I don't even know what that would be. It's just like the investor, and it goes up in flames.
Yeah,
Oh
right.
shit!
Um, yeah.
Seems ironic.
The so like over 44 years later, the motive for this fire still remains a mystery. And it does haunt like this tiny fishing village. Uh, population, I wasn't too sure on. One source said about 500 people live there, and then another thing said about 1,000 people live there.
Oh my goodness, so very small. Either way.
Yeah, absolutely. And it said that it
Wow.
remains Alaska's worst, or one of Alaska's worst unsolved mass homicides. Which,
Shit.
yeah,
And they have some bad homicides. They've got some serial killers.
yeah. I think I covered that one guy that was like fucking hunting people in Alaska. Like,
He haunts me, like from your case
yeah,
and anywhere else I hear it, like the Dexter thing.
yep,
Like it's just horrific. It's like,
yeah,
and to light a boat on fire. I'm like, what the?
yeah. This one's really weird. When I get to like what actually went down, it's like just weird.
It's not your
Um,
usual MO, that's for sure.
no. So there's a quote from Dave Freeman, who grew up with these are two of the teenage deckhands, Jerome Kiwan and Dave Moon. So this was Dave Freeman, who is their friend. He said, "You never stop thinking about them." And then he also said, "The shock of losing everyone really tore up our town, and they all had their whole lives in front of them, and they were just blown away, and it's such a shame and tragic. It's just such a shame and tragic for no reason. Like, they've never really figured out what the motive even was for it."
Right, and they all just seem seemingly completely innocent, like a family and four teenagers, you said?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
awful.
So the Coulthurst family consisted of Mark, the father, and his pregnant wife, Irene. Like, she was pregnant
Oh,
at the time. I know. And
no.
they were both just 28. Like, they were so
Oh my
young.
goodness.
Yeah,
Fucking fly. That's horrible.
right. They also had their daughter Kimberly, who was 5, and their son John, who was just 4.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so young, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's rough.
um, Police released that Mark, the father, or I guess the whole family, they lived actually in Washington, D.C. Um, so, what they would do kind of every year during the commercial fishing season is the family would go up to Craig, Alaska with their fishing boat, and then they would catch the end of the commercial fishing season. And
Oh,
then the rest of
wow.
the year. So they were only up there for like a little bit each year. Uh,
Right, but they were like familiar with the place and stuff. That's
yeah, and
interesting.
like people knew them. They had been doing it for a few years, I guess. And
Hmm.
yeah, but they were primarily based out of Washington, the family. So Mark and the family and the crew had arrived in Craig on September 5th, 1982. So that was the day before the fire, to catch the end of the commercial fishing season for that year. And Mark was the proud owner of this new high tech commercial fishing boat, and it was described as one of the most expensive in the region at the time, at
Oh,
58 feet long and costing over $850,000.
wow. That's
Yeah,
more than my house. Like
right? It's actually,
double.
and that was the investor, like the boat. And I saw some other quotes that they said that Mark, like, he hadn't come from a wealthy family or anything,
Hmm.
and neither had Irene. So that, like, he had built this commercial fishing company up, like, from the ground up. And
Wow.
um
That's pretty
Kiwan's,
cool.
Yeah, sorry, Keown's older brother Brian later said that every one of the crew wanted to be like Mark, and he was one of the best skippers around. So it sounds
Aw.
like the people that lived in Alaska, like they knew Mark. He was really nice, and people seemed to really like him because on the day of the fire, like earlier that day, the day before the fire, the family had attended a birthday party that was being thrown for Mark at a restaurant near the docks, where the boat was.
Okay.
So they liked him enough that even though they had just arrived that day, like they were hosting a whole birthday party and everything for
Oh.
him. Yeah, like people actually liked the family.
Yeah, that's very sweet.
Right? Like they just
Yeah,
arrive and then they're like, "Hey, we're throwing this birthday party for you."
right.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Yeah. Uh After they have this nice birthday party there, they return to the investor about 9:30 p.m. that night, just as a storm began to rage. I guess there was like a big storm that was incoming that evening.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It was a dark and stormy night.
The family was joined by their four deckhands, Chris Heyman, who was 18. Then there was Keown, Moon, and Mike Stewart, who were all 19. So, like, they were all also very young.
Oh, okay. Mike Stewart, you say?
Yeah.
Went to school with Mike Stewart.
Yeah.
Damn.
Um, and when they got on the board, so like the four family members and the four crewmen, when they got on board that evening, all of them were unaware that presumably their soon-to-be killer had snuck onto the boat and was like waiting for them to get on.
Oh, so they think
Yeah.
someone set the fire and then left? Maybe?
Yeah. Um
Hmm.
yeah, we'll get to the fire because the fire isn't the only thing that happened.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so they arrive back to the boat after the birthday party. It's like 9:30 p.m.
Okay.
Um I think they were planning on maybe going out right away or something to start fishing. I'm not too sure. There wasn't really details talking about why they were all getting on with all the deckhands and stuff like so late if there was supposed to be a storm. Um
Right.
Seemed a
That's a
little weird
little
to me, but
odd.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm
Um
not a fisherman. Yeah.
yeah. What kind of happened in between, we aren't really sure about. We do know they got on the boat about 9:30 and the killer must have already been on it. uh
Huh.
the One of the only other things we know is that seemingly all the Mark and Irene and then the deckhands, all four of them, they were all shot to death with
Oh,
a
shit.
yeah, with a 22 caliber pistol or a rifle. They aren't really sure. And then
They're not sure. Okay. But
yeah.
they obviously recovered the bodies enough if they know they were shot. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then their daughter Kimberly, who she's 5. Yeah, Kimberly is
Oh.
only 5. She had been beaten over the head with a blunt object.
Oh my
And then
God.
uh they said that because the like fiberglass boat had burned so hot and so strongly, there was actually they never recovered John, the 4-year-old's remains. So they don't know what happened to him.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like they were really trying to destroy the evidence. Well, it would seem like if you're going to burn something on the water, like you're going to hope
Yeah.
there's not much left. But at the
Yeah,
same
like it'll just
time,
burn and then sink really quickly or something.
right, but then it's like, don't they know how hot you have to actually burn a body for all of it to go away? Like, obviously, they recovered some of the remains, which is very helpful.
Yeah. Because
But
that's two of the best ways, I'd say, that people would think about to, like, destroy evidence would be fire and then
right.
water, right?
Yeah. Both very destructive. Yeah.
Yeah.
And can also be like, especially water or something can be good for
Contaminating.
exactly tampering with like the timeline and making it harder to figure that stuff out.
Yeah.
It's very troubling.
Yeah, so they know that they were shot. Then what happened, I guess, they've pieced together this kind of rough timeline. So they get on the boat, they get shot at some point, like, don't really know if they were tied up or what. Like, whoever the killer was, like, shot 6 people to death for them not to, like, jump overboard or something like that before that occurs. They've never really released, I guess.
That
And
is
then,
odd. It's like how in the
right?
Amityville one, the crime, the DeFeos one, how they were all found like as if they were sleeping, but all shot, and like the shots didn't wake anyone else up. Like that creeps me
Yeah.
out.
Like, you have
That's
3 19-year-olds, an 18-year-old, and
yeah.
then Mark and Irene are 28. Like, they're not, like, other than Kimberly and John, the 5 and 4-year-old, they're not people that couldn't, like, if it's one shooter, they couldn't, like, take him out, defend,
Right?
fight back. Like, yeah, they've
Something.
never really talked about that, I guess.
Yeah,
Uh,
like seems like one shooter wouldn't add up, but it's weird.
yeah, very strange to me. They did say that the gunman, after they were shot and killed, the gunman moved the boat to a secluded bay that was about a mile outside of town. And while he
Hmm.
was doing this, he was seen by nearby skippers, so, like, other people that were driving and, like, fishing during the time, and he was, like, nonchalantly waving at them as he was driving their boat past. And presumably with the bodies
Oh.
still aboard, like, yeah, it just didn't.
Okay. But
Yeah,
not
did
on
not.
fire yet.
No.
Oh my
Not
God.
yet.
That is
So,
sick.
yeah, he kind of, like, moors the boat there, and then he leaves it, using the skiff, or, like, the that to get back to the docks.
Hmm.
He leaves it there basically overnight, and through part way through the day until the next afternoon. So, like, at least 12 or so hours, I'd say, he left the boat just sitting there with the bodies there on the boat. Uh,
Oh, wow. That's really weird information to find out after the fact.
right? Uh, they know
Hmm.
because, like, people saw the boat out there and they didn't see any movement on it, but they, like, just thought that they were fishing, or thought when people saw it, oh, like, maybe they're just in the cabin or just can't see them, so they
Okay.
didn't think anything of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I mean, you
Um,
wouldn't want to go poking around someone else's boat. And it's not, is it right at the docks right now? Sorry, did you say?
no, it's, like, moored
Okay.
in a secluded bay, like, so not even a high
Ah,
traffic area. Yeah.
okay.
So he leaves it there. He goes to the like, back to the docks. He loads up a can of gasoline and he heads back to the boat the next afternoon, and that's when he sets the boat on fire. He flees pretty quickly, returning to town using the skiff again, and then vanishes. Nobody ever sees the suspect again.
Crazy that people saw him in the first place. It just seems so bold and brazen and like
Right?
weirdly
I don't
out
know
in the
how many
open.
I don't know how
Yeah.
many people saw the person, like the man, driving
Yeah.
their boat. At least one family, I think, did, because we do have, like, a slight description, but yeah,
Really?
yeah,
That's so crazy that it could, yeah, go so cold.
yeah. There was a former Craig police chief, Ray Shapley, recalling in a story about the investor killings. A lot of my information came from People magazine, which I thought was really weird.
Oh, like, yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
was
you
like,
weren't just
oh.
flipping through one. It was probably, yeah, they have some good articles sometimes.
I was like, God damn, all these like good quotes that I couldn't find anywhere else. Uh,
One of mine was
yeah,
like Netflix because it was on Unsolved
yeah,
Mysteries.
yeah,
So I can't fault you for that. It's you gotta go where the info is, right?
yeah. Yeah, so this Craig police chief, Ray Shapley, he said, quote, when I got there to the boat, there's black smoke was coming out of the wheelhouse, but there was nobody
Mm.
on deck. Like they didn't see anybody. But he recalls that it made the hair on the back of his neck stand up. So
Oh,
it's pretty eerie. Like if you watch the videos that people captured of the boat on fire, it's like a raging fire. Like it's crazy.
yeah. Once I saw the picture, the smoke was quite
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah. The only description that we have is that the suspect was a white male, probably in their early 20s, with like a pockmarked complexion. That's
Oh,
literally it. But
fuck.
yeah, they did
White
make
guy.
some,
Okay. Bad skin.
right?
Jeez. Oh,
Um,
and the family
yeah,
or the pictures that you have of the victims or whatever, I think.
yeah.
Just like, oh,
Um,
it's terrible.
yeah, so they did end up releasing, I guess, some composite sketches.
Mm.
I don't think I ever ran across like the actual composite sketches, but they were released to the public, I guess. But with little to go on, the case went cold for the next 2 or so years.
Hmm.
Um, Partly because of the, as I said, the regular population is between like either 500 or about 1,000 people that live in that area typically. But during fishing season, they said it like just explodes. Like not even
Yeah.
doubles or triples. It's like crazy. And people are only there
Oh.
for a couple weeks and then they're gone till the next year. So them trying to investigate, it's really hard.
Okay. Yeah. I can think of places like that are like heavily rely on tourism and travel and stuff, and
Yeah.
like in the Maritimes and stuff, like PEI. They're just a tiny little
Yeah.
island that doesn't have much going on it, but then in the summer everybody goes there to like go to the beaches and whatever. So yeah,
Yeah,
big
exactly.
influx of people. Oh yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, so police faced like a difficult task trying to identify anybody, and they didn't really have any leads, like other than white male, early 20s, acne. Like, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
um, there's another person who's been investigating the case for basically the last 40 some years. There's an author, Leland Hale, who's a pretty good source. They run like a blog as well. They've also written several books on the case,
Wow.
which I think would be interesting to read. Uh, and according to them, they reported that the police had three main criteria for trying to narrow down who their suspects might be. Um, First one, I think this would be a given. They had to have been in town on the day of the murder. hmm So, like,
Sure. Oh yeah. Okay, so this is just like the profile of the
yeah,
individual. Yeah.
they had to have been present. Uh,
Right. Makes sense.
I was like, that one's so obvious. I can't believe we had to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard though. They're just
Um,
so trying to narrow it down. This is like all they have. And you're like, oh God.
yeah,
Yeah.
these other ones I think are a little more compelling.
Mm.
Leland went on to say, quote, they had to know something about fishing and fishing boats because just taking the investor out from the docks to where it was found, you had to have some skill and knowledge about fishing boats. Because as I mentioned, it was
Right.
one of the most high tech, like, and advanced fishing boats in the area, and was virtually like brand new. Like most of the people in the area um, wouldn't necessarily have had experience with that level of like technology at the time.
Right.
So Yeah.
That is odd. And then, like, they just then destroyed the boat.
Yeah.
So it's like, was that obviously not part of the motive? Like, they didn't want to take their fancy boat. Like, did they rob them? It's like, ugh, it's so weird.
Yeah. Um, one of the other things that they said that the police used as a factor was whether the suspect knew the Coulthursts. So Leland said, like, why were the kids killed? That seems kind of strange unless they would possibly be able to identify you. Um, which I mean,
Yeah, once you've killed the parents, they're kind of
like, what else are you gonna
a,
do?
a problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to put your mind there, that's for sure. Like, person that could
Yeah.
kill kids like that. We just can't think
Right?
that way.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, it kind of went cold. They're trying to figure out who their suspects possibly could be. I guess they kind of had one person in mind because in 1984, the police ended up arresting this man by the name of John Peel. And
Oh.
he had previously worked for Mark on, I think, not this fishing boat, but one of his previous ones. And they had a falling out. I read somewhere Mark had kind of let him go because John was lazy. Uh,
Okay.
but
Fair. But
um,
seriously, like, you'd hold that much of a grudge to
yeah,
plan a
right.
multiple murder,
Yeah.
homicide? Yeah. Like, what the
Um,
fuck?
so they kind of narrowed in on John because he was working on a different fishing boat at the time of the murders. That was like within the vicinity of the investor. Um, Police said that he was a suspect almost immediately after the murders, but they made no attempts to even try and interview him until over a year later um, from the murder. Like, they never even tried to ask him about alibi or even talk to him, even though they said he was a suspect in the second day into their investigation, which I think is like crazy.
That's
Isn't that weird?
why tell the media that?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I mean, no comprende.
Yeah, like this person's a suspect your second day after the murder, and you never even attempt to contact them until over a year after, and then you arrest them 2 years after the murder took place. Like,
Never say they're a suspect unless you're like already booking them or what. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
you're already talking to them or whatever. Weird.
Yeah. So they interview, well, yeah, I don't know when they interviewed him, but they arrest him 2 years later, and he claims to have been asleep during the killings, but that's not a great alibi, unfortunately. So he ended up getting charged with all the murders due to his proximity, as well as like his described similarity to the sketches. So he was a
I
young
can't
white
believe
man
they
with
think they
acne.
have enough to go on at this point.
Exactly, exactly. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and that's what the jury thought as well, because his first trial, which took place in 1986, was based on circumstantial evidence, and
Hmm.
prosecutors suggested he killed the family because of the falling out that he and Mark had had. And after his trial that lasted about 6 months, it ended up in a hung jury, um, and he was
Damn.
released. Well, like that trial was over, and 2 years
Yeah.
later, he faced a retrial where he ended up being found not guilty. Uh,
And there you go. Now you can't try him again ever because he's been actually, had a
yeah.
sentence.
Peel filed a wrongful prosecution suit against the state to recoup his legal fees and was awarded a settlement of a reported $900,000.
Oh,
So,
really? So
yeah.
he was like, "You were really wrong."
And he spent like fucking 4 years in prison because
That's tough
he
when all you
was,
have is circumstantial evidence and stuff. Because
yeah,
sometimes it is really, really good circumstantial evidence. So I don't,
yeah.
kind of blame them, I guess, in a way, but ugh, that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, so he was basically their only suspect that they've ever, like, publicly named,
Just because he
or
was like,
anything like
oh,
that.
fired by the guy, just was not a
Yeah.
lot to go on to me either.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So as far as, like, motivations or theories go, Craig's former police chief, Shapley, that I mentioned, he's convinced the killings resulted from a drug deal gone bad, and that the boat was being used to smuggle cocaine from Seattle. This is, like, one of the most common theories,
It
which
does feel like something they throw out a lot of cases, and
which
honestly,
is exactly where I would plan to bring my 5 and 4-year-olds to help me smuggle cocaine. And my pregnant
oh, but
wife.
that they were, because they were saying they were like directly involved. Ugh, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's like, fuck's sakes.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it seems like the easy one sometimes for a
Yeah.
true crime case. It's like saying like any unexplained paranormal case or whatever. It's like mass hysteria or like folie à deux. Oh, they all went mad.
Yeah. Um,
No.
yeah, he continued saying, I've heard a lot of talk that it was a drug boat, said Shapley, who spent days sifting through the ashes on Investor for, like, little bone fragments and teeth. They
Oh,
said Craig floated on drugs in those days, while others call this theory a bunch of bullcrap, which I think I agree. Like,
no
I
one
mean, they did
see
say
any
there was
evidence to support
definitely,
it.
yeah, they said there was definitely boats that are smuggling, like, cocaine into Alaska and stuff, but not necessarily that theirs was.
And I like what? How
Right?
still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That author Leland Hale has a different kind of, not really theory, but argument, saying that the Investor murders likely occurred in the North Cove in Craig, where the Investor was docked, and saying if you want to send a message, you leave the bodies there at the dock for everyone to discover, especially the other fishermen who are transporting drugs. If you want the message to ring loud and clear, and this is not what happened. The perpetrator instead took the boat out to Fish Egg Island and tried to sink it. Tried, in fact, to hide the evidence of the murders, saying, sound counterintuitive to you? Where's the message in that? And then when that failed, the perpetrator returned to the vessel and torched it. And by the time the murders were discovered, at least 39 hours had passed.
It would just seem just too methodical for that. Like drug deals and things like
Yeah.
that where people have guns and there's violence and the tensions are high. It's just, it seems like it'd be more messy or I don't know,
Yeah.
messy or something.
They also
Yeah.
mentioned that another theory is that one of the crew members was the killer. Again, like, where's the missing crew
Yeah.
member that set them on
Oh.
fire, like, the next day? I don't know. Yeah, how would they set themselves on fire? Who was this unknown man driving the boat that people witnessed then?
I mean, I considered like
Um,
family annihilation when you said there was a whole family. I mean,
yeah.
kind of almost have to if you listen to a lot of true crime, but then it's like so much else just doesn't add up to that type of thing. There's other people there and they're all
Yeah.
shot and I don't know.
Then there's some people that I think are just flat out crazy because they think that the son John, because he's the only remains not found, that he was the killer.
The
And
4-year-old?
the 4-year-old. Yes, the
Okay.
4-year-old Alanna. He left the boat, he purchased some gasoline and returned to it. Set his family on fire, okay?
It was baby Dexter.
Fuck,
Okay.
not to laugh, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was like, are you sure? You're not just shitting me? Like
No, I read this on like 3 different sources. that this
The
is a
dad I could
popular
consider. That's what
that
I'm
this is a
saying.
popular theory because his remains were not found, that the 4-year-old did it. Okay?
No, that's a joke.
It's absolutely insane. So wild. I can't
So he
even
ran
believe.
away? No, what?
I don't know. It is
God.
interesting. It is interesting to point out that um that like when they got on the
I'm
boat,
so scared for what you're gonna say.
no, just that when they got on the boat at 9:30 after like Mark's birthday
Mm-hmm.
celebration thing, that the last known sighting on the Investor of like anybody being alive other than that guy that was witnessed driving it was 4-year-old John or Johnny Coulthurst, who was last seen at 11 p.m. on Sunday night by crew members on an adjacent boat. So like they got on the boat at 9:30 and the 4-year-old John was still alive by at least 11 p.m. that night. So like it didn't happen right away when they boarded the boat. Like that's like at least an hour and a half that they were on. Yeah.
I am the meme of the woman with the math equations right now. Like, I just don't.
Yeah, it's like what happened for that hour and a half? Like were the others still alive? Was it just John? Like,
Yeah, if that's the case, that further muddies the waters.
right? Like I said, the killer they presume was hiding, like waiting on the boat for them. So like
It's
they
a
waited
big,
for a long
expensive
time
boat, but still a pretty small, like,
for 8
sailing
people to be
vessel.
on it,
Yeah.
plus somebody hidden. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a yacht or whatever. Like, it's not a huge fucking cruise ship. Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's not
even weirder.
Deadliest Catch. It's not like the huge boats. Like it basically looks like
Mhm.
a I don't know, it looks kind of yeah, like a yacht, speedboat kind
Yeah.
of thing to me. It's not huge.
Little cabin, little deck. Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's why when they
That's
said there was 8 people on board, I was like, holy shit. Like it's a lot of people to try and even picture on that boat. Um
And then, yeah, why was the kid seen supposedly
yeah,
later
like
by
11
himself?
p.m.
Human
Yeah.
traffickers decided to target that one boat to get that one kid because that's how human traffickers work. They're crazy. It's
Right.
the other answer to everything true crime. I was on the scene
Yeah.
of trafficked. Yeah.
Very
Oh,
80s and 90s.
oh my God. And apparently,
Um,
even whatever, Wayfair days. I thought I heard that one episode of You're Wrong About, and they were like, and then they thought because there was a crazy $3,000 couch on Wayfair that, or like $20,000 couch, that it must have come with a secret child inside of it.
what the fuck?
Yeah, it's just
That's
bizarre.
creepy.
It's craziness. It's just absolute
Um,
insanity.
yeah, I just have a little bit more. These are mostly like quotes that I didn't really know where to put anywhere else. Saying police are like no longer looking for the killer. According to
Oh,
them, the case is closed, says Tim Despain, spokesman for the Alaska State Troopers. Um, yeah,
okay.
like
Like
they're not even
closed.
investigating. They're not even like uh, there was a former Bellingham, Washington police detective David McNeil who helped Alaskan authorities in their investigation. Um, he says it was a pretty damn good investigation and they got the right guy, but just because someone is acquitted doesn't mean they're innocent. It just means that there's not enough evidence to show guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, which
Oh,
they still think it's him, but I mean, you need proof, and
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, it just makes me wonder. So it's like not even sitting in the cold cases now.
No, like they're not. Yeah, it's
Some
just
new
sitting.
guy
It's
someday is
actually
gonna start again.
Yeah, according to them, like, it must be sitting under their closed cases. Like, it's not even a cold case. It's, like, closed.
No, I
So,
don't really like that.
no, I don't either. That John Peel, who was acquitted on his charges, said, quote, "Somebody was responsible for this, and somebody
Yeah.
out there knows what happened, but I'm not going to waste any more of my life on it." Which, fair enough. I mean, if you're innocent, I wouldn't want to be any more involved in it at all.
Because Peel said that? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Those who knew
Damn.
Mark said that he was born to fish, saying quote, "He was just an incredibly hard worker who always said he was going to retire by the time he was 50, and I never
Oh,
doubted it." That was his younger sister, Lori Hart. She
I hate that
continued,
in the
right?
context of, yeah,
Right?
retired
She
from life
continued,
before 30.
yeah.
Wanted.
Yeah. She continued saying he always had irons in the fire and he was making money. Um,
Hmm.
the sister Lori for decades was convinced of Peel's guilt, but her opinion changed last year. I think this was like around 2014 after he agreed to meet with her and her sister at a local diner, and like talk to them and answer some of their questions.
Wow.
Um, After that conversation, she said, "I don't know if he's actually the one who pulled the trigger, but I think he knows more than he's saying."
Oh, wow.
So
Interesting.
I think she believes there was like I kind of mentioned, I think, how do you subdue 6 adults? Like,
More than one person
basically.
involved. Yeah.
Yeah, like that nobody, I don't know how cold it was at the time, but like nobody jumped in the water, nobody could get to a radio, nobody could like get away. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Nothing was found in their systems as to like them being subdued or drugged or anything like that
I don't
either. But
know, nothing that they've ever released.
yeah.
Um, yeah. For those whose lives were upended by the killings, including Peel, the case remains a painful cloud that refuses to lift,
Mm-hmm.
says Freeman. So this was one of their friends of the deckhand saying it's hard to move on because there's just no answers. And then cops have officially closed the case, but that author Leland says the record remains in the archives in Alaska to be studied again. So it is like public record, and that every single document used in this case has been put in the state archive. So if somebody wanted to go back and look at it and open it up again or whatever, that they could, and that's where they had gotten their material for their book, like they had gone through
Oh my
um,
gosh.
the archives and
So for
everything.
podcasters like us that want to look into it, even though this guy that wrote the
Yeah,
book couldn't figure it out. Oh, such a freaking
right?
mystery. Yeah, what
Yeah.
a puzzle.
Yeah, this one stuck with me because it's not even that it happened like quickly. It's that like boarded
Yeah.
the boat at 9:30. The last one is seen the sun at 11. Don't know when they're killed, but somebody witnesses them driving the boat away at some point, and we don't know who that is. Nobody recognized them. And
No.
then there like multiple other fishing boats like saw the boat sitting there in that abandoned area for like a few hours, and then the killer returns to the boat with gasoline and lights it on fire, and that draws more attention, and then finally people go to investigate. It
Yeah,
just,
it's multiple witnesses that saw
yeah,
things that were
yeah, but nobody
significant.
knew like the individual, or nobody saying. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It is very tough to think of a motive for that one.
Right? It's
Um,
like really weird. Like I don't even really fully understand why, if there was supposedly a
no.
storm that was incoming, like why they were getting on the boat that night. like with the whole crew and everything.
Yeah, from start to finish, it's a little like you're like, okay, well that's a little odd, but maybe
Yeah.
one or two odd things you can explain away, and then it's just like I don't get any of it. I don't understand what the motivation would be, and not the
Yeah.
motive, like not the motive, but the other one, the mode, the modus operandi. That one, it's so bizarre. Like,
Yeah, because they never talked about like anybody benefiting from their deaths or anything, like no one, like
no,
inheritances, family members,
that'd be kill the whole damn
whatever.
family. Yeah,
Yeah, it's yeah,
nobody got
even
the
the
vote.
competition. Yeah, even the competition, everybody's like, no, like we all liked Mark. They were there, like, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah, it's got to be something else, something they saw or knew, or I hate to speculate, but we're gonna have to. Yeah, there's more speculation. Honestly, in my case,
Right?
honestly, they're a little similar. I hate to say it,
Aw. Well,
but
clearly it was the 4-year-old son, John.
that's right. What
Like,
the?
why is that a theory? Like, fucking come on.
I can't.
It was
Really? I need to see these comments. What is
it
the world coming to?
literally yeah. Me think a 4-year-old. Wow.
And maybe it was the unborn child.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't know what we're saying. I just can't with this one. We're gonna have to put a massive trigger warning on this whole segment. It's so fucked. Fuck. That sucks.
Yeah. I don't
It
know
does.
what that author says in their book. I couldn't really
Oh, I want to
navigate their
read it.
blog. I couldn't really navigate their blog too well.
Oh
I
no.
did go on it. Yeah, it was like, I don't know. It was very confusing to try and navigate because I was going to get more information, but yeah, I don't know what their books are like.
What was the name of the author again? Or the book?
It's lelandhale.com.
Oh
They
yeah.
have like a yeah, and they talk about a whole bunch of stuff in Alaska. Um but yeah, even on their blog had like a search function, and I just typed in like Coulthurst and looked through those, and I don't know, it didn't seem
Okay.
easy to navigate or anything with like
Blogs
trying to
are
look up
old.
more information, even though it said it was like mostly about the murders. I was like, I don't know. I couldn't really find much more.
I'll see if I can find the book.
Yeah, supposedly they've written multiple books about it. So I don't know what other information
Okay.
is out there. But
I need to know. Okay. And now
yeah.
we need to go for a break just to break up this
Sadness.
sadness. Yes. Jinx. All right, we'll be right back.
Hello, is this thing on? Okay, good. I am sorry to interrupt your listening pleasure, but my name is Tiffany, and I'm here to tell you about my podcast, True Crime Connections. It's an advocacy podcast that talks with real survivors about real shit. This is the place you want to be if you've been in a toxic relationship or anything tragic has happened to you and you're looking to find your strength and healing. No two episodes are alike, but they all give you useful tools that you can take with you. So make sure to find me on your favorite podcast platform, or you can go to truecrimeconnections.com and come join the hope building community. See you there.
All right, we are back.
for more
drama.
Yeah.
No. Okay, but yes. So we'll sandwich it with a little compliment? No, I was just thinking of like when they say the compliment sandwich, like when you put a complaint in between two compliments to be like, you're really good at this, let's work on that, but also you rock. You know?
Yeah.
But it's the opposite of that. We can welcome our newest patron, and that'll be
Yeah.
fun. And then we could talk about some of the. I can give you some of the Spotify Wrapped stats that I jotted down of our
Yes.
listeners. Yay! So big Patreon welcome to Larry, our newest friends level patron.
Welcome, Larry.
Welcome. You are amazing, and we love that you joined at the highest level because you
Yeah.
rock. So everybody be like Larry.
Yeah. Hope you enjoy all the bonus episodes you now have access to.
Yes, we will be putting more out, and also at that level you get to pick a like topic too. So we'll have to
Yes.
get to you on that.
Yeah. Please let us know when you make a decision.
Did Gordo just meow?
Yeah. Gordo says hi. Thank you, Larry.
Yeah.
He came back. He came back in the room just to say thank you.
That's so cute. I was just like, he literally just interrupted you. Oh, amazing. And yeah, just like everybody it always says with independent podcasters, we couldn't do it without you patrons and all you listeners. So everybody keep listening and sharing with friends so we can get more listeners and more friends.
Yes. Thank you so much.
And yeah, it always kind of looks nice when I watch the Spotify rap thing they do, which I had to like re-sign into whatever the whole Spotify for podcasters because I was like, where is this? Where do I go to find this now? I heard other people talking about theirs. And it was like, yeah, it's always pretty positive. Tell you how many like followers percentages you're up and things like that. So I don't know how it compares to
cool.
other people. Yeah. But it said we're up 21% in followers or something like that.
Nice. Go us.
Yay. I know, because sometimes I forget, like, yeah, there's like the listens you get every week, and then there's, you can follow a podcast, but obviously not listen to every episode. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But we have like 75% new listeners, so I guess we've gained
Ooh. That's
new
exciting.
listeners, new followers. I don't know. It all means something. And then every platform seems to have a different like top episode for us.
Yeah.
So for here it was the Morbid Medical Mysteries, which was up 497% more streams than our average episode.
Wow.
Which, if you have 2 listeners and you get 2 more, well, that's 50% your listeners.
Yeah.
So who knows how many listens it actually has, but we're still in like 12 countries. Our top is Canada. Ooh, ooh. Okay. Love our local listeners. Thank you. Love all our listeners. Thank you. Never want to leave anybody out. God damn it.
Yeah. Just start naming all the countries, Alanna. Come on.
No, but I forgot about this. It said our youngest listeners were in the US, but also our oldest. So I think that's probably our second biggest country because we still kind of just like, teeter back and forth, right? It's like,
yeah,
Canada, US, usually the UK, Australia, ones like that. Use all your English speaking.
Yeah, I was just gonna say all the English
first.
But not all. We have listeners. A lot of our international true crime episodes we've done have been based on where we had listeners from. Some of the first countries that popped up. So
I like that, and I hope
Yeah.
people like that too when you try to like focus on them. And it's not
Yeah, it
just
was like, oh,
whatever.
it was our way of shouting out people as they joined.
Meanwhile, they accidentally like butt downloaded half an episode. We're like, here you go, fucking Slovenia. No, I don't know. That was
Yeah.
one of our newest countries, though, and I'm still probably pronouncing it wrong. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just a mediocre white lady. They also told you what the top shows were that other people like the people who are our fans like their other top shows, I guess.
Oh, they're
So,
probably way bigger podcasts than us.
yeah, some of them.
Yeah.
And that's why we drink. Probably the one I first
Yeah.
listened to. And maybe mentioned the most, possibly. Last podcast on the left, who I've listened to a few of their episodes, and they're also very big because that's the one, the cryptid board game Daniel got me is
Oh,
based on their, or like produced by their podcast.
cool.
It's their merge. It's crazy. One called Rotten Mango, which I'm not as familiar with, but I think is true crime-ish. And then
Interesting.
yeah. Serial Killers, and then Time Suck with Dan Cummins, which I've listened to once or twice for research and was pretty good. That's so
Nice.
funny though. And oh yeah, our listener fucking, I don't know, like personality. It said they're the creator personality. Or wait, is that our creator personality? I'm trying to understand this thing I jotted down on a post-it note several weeks ago. And then it says the storyteller. And I was like, okay. Oh, because of the different metrics we have, the countries we're in, how frequently we publish our episodes, and the length. I was like,
Oh,
oh yeah,
yeah.
we'll be telling some stories.
17 hours long?
Gordo.
No. I know, Gordo's
He-
purring so loud. Can you hear him?
Well, for a second there, it was like directly into the mic.
Hold on, I'll turn the mic a little more
Oh,
to
that's
him.
fine. It stopped. It was just like he really wanted the spotlight there for a second.
Yeah. He used it to scratch his face. That's why.
Anyway, so air horn noises for us, but I won't do that because it's really annoying when podcasts overuse that too much. You know? Sometimes I just want to like take their soundboard away from them.
Yeah. It can be annoying.
Right. I always notice what's annoying when I listen to a podcast like out loud and then like Pat hears it and then I'm like, oh, what are the things that he notices? Sometimes it's just funny. Sometimes he's just like, oh, is that like the Smartless Guys or someone? I'll be like, no, this is some like random dude. All right. So, yes, cheers to us, and here's to a new
2025.
yes. And also a new crime case from me right now.
Yeah, thanks to me.
All right, this is this case of Patrick Mullins. And yeah, I'm just going to tell you, it's also an unsolved murder, unfortunately.
Oh, jeez. We really bought the unsolved today.
I know, I love and
we
hate
didn't even
them.
plan that. We didn't even plan that. But so many
No.
so many with boats and that kind of thing end up unsolved.
I know, I can't remember if I just was like, oh yeah, what about, like, I had been watching more Unsolved Mysteries again, and because so it might have been fresh of mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one stuck with me too. It's out of a place called Manatee County, Florida. Just kind of cute.
Okay. Manatee.
Do they have manatees? I don't know. I didn't have time to Google it. Oh, pardon me. Um, and Pat grew up there on the water, and he was like, loved it. He was born to live somewhere on water because he was like, they were fixing and building up old boats and motors with his brother since he was a young child. So he kind of like passed that down to his kids too.
That's cool.
Yeah, like real handy. He was the third child of 5 children, so he came from a big family. And he definitely dreamed of being a dad and a grandpa, and yeah, doing all that shit on the water. I get it. Like, you grow up near water, and yeah, you feel like it's in your blood or something. Not that I don't love it here. It's just a little
I was gonna
landlocked
say,
sometimes.
you just moved very inland, so is the furthest you could be from any body of water in Canada is like right where we are.
Oh, well, that's where the jobs were.
Yeah,
It's unfortunate.
absolutely.
We could have gone even what is it, further north to Fort Mac? Oh, that's even more remote. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too expensive there. All the
Yeah, so is the West Coast. You gotta like move to the Maritimes.
yeah.
When I retire. Okay. He grew up on an island, I guess, Anna Maria Island. Yeah, so he's always lived on the water. I'm totally shedding. He was in the marching band. Bye. No. Band camp. But like, yeah, he majored in elementary education, so he always worked in education, and that was his passion, I think. So that was pretty cool. He shared his life's passions with his sons and with his wife Jill. Oh, I just worded that sentence really weird. His wife Jill and his sons Marcus and Miles. And his wife said, each of our sons had a boat Pat fixed up for them when they were in elementary school. Mason painted his boat to resemble the P-40 airplane that had the menacing shark's teeth on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can picture it, right?
Yeah.
There's a car that has teeth like that on it that's in my neighborhood. It's kind of funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or at least it's nearby.
I don't think I've ever noticed it.
Yeah, when I go play D&D at Kaylin's, it's kind of like on her street. It's like a black one.
Oh, okay.
And then Miles weighed so little that his boat would tilt about 80 degrees before it would settle onto a plane. So before it would like flatten out. So cute. It's like when you get on one end of a hammock and the other person goes straight up, right? It's a teeter-totter.
Yeah.
So one day Pat was planning on running an errand or two before heading out on the Braden River. He bought a drain valve and a pair of welding goggles, and then he returned home for a test drive of an older motor in one of his boats, which was called a stump knocker.
Gordo's trying to use the mic to scratch his face again. Buddy, maybe you just stay over there. He looks so offended. He's like, you pushed me over here, Mom.
I know, and he's doing that thing when they're like, but you can't because I'm so cute, and look, I'm purring, and I can hear him purring.
Oh, he's left. Bye.
Well, I never.
Don't meow at me like that.
I keep seeing trends where like one was like put your hands in a circle and see what your dog does, and most people's dogs put their hand in or put their face in. It's really cute. And then one guy was like, see what happens when I get inside my dog's bed, and the dog was like whatchamacallit, a husky or something. So you know how like loud they talk sometimes, like "Row, row, row, row."
Yeah. Aw.
So
That's
cute.
pretty funny.
All right. So on this afternoon, Pat left for his test drive of his old motor around 3 or 4 p.m. in the afternoon. So, and then it was later that same day, which was January 27th of 2013, and Jill got home from visiting family with the kids in Sarasota. And this was around 6 p.m. So she knew that Pat was probably going out, but she expected him home by now because it was only supposed to be a short little trip down the river. And
Okay.
yeah, it was just a familiar route and all that. And so she would have expected him home after a few hours. She calls around. No friends or family seem to have seen him. So by that evening, she ends up calling the sheriff's office. They begin a search. They start on the river, and nobody's seen anything really odd or alarming. They can't locate his boat. They find nothing in the Braden River itself, and they sound the alarm and kind of expand the search, I guess, combing the area for clues. The next day, his abandoned boat is seen by another boater who calls the search team, and they get the Coast Guard out to retrieve it later that day. So,
Okay.
yeah, they found his little stump knocker or whatever that boat was called.
Such a weird name.
I know. Is there stumps in the water?
Maybe.
And it still had, so the little boat had the ignition still on or in the on position, and Pat's hat and sunglasses were on board, and his wallet actually, but he was nowhere to be
Okay.
found. Yeah,
Damn.
so it's so suspicious.
Yeah.
It was way out in an area called or near the Egmont Channel. I feel like there was a couple different names because it was kind of like near the mouth of like near Tampa Bay and kind of where the river led out into the bay, so where the water area got larger, way away from the shallow Braden River that he had started out at, which was like basically in his backyard.
Okay.
Yeah, so in Manatee County or whatever. Chris Slattery, a charter captain in nearby Boca Grande, says a boat that small has no business being out on those rough seas. And Pat's family said he would never take it out that far on purpose. It was way too far out in the bay. Like wasn't built for that. Yeah.
Damn.
And I apologize. I thought about trying to find some photos for you, but I didn't have time.
That's okay.
There's a great Unsolved Mysteries episode.
Just shout out to Unsolved.
Oh, I love it. And it did help because it's nice to have a visual, which unfortunately we can't provide as much on a podcast, but
Yeah.
I try to depict it. Yeah, it
Paint
was
a picture with words.
Yeah. Just like Laura Ingalls had to do when her sister went blind. It's a skill. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We're working on it. But yeah, this was unfortunately followed by another 8 days of searching after they found his boat. And then another charter captain finds Pat's body. He is tied to an anchor with a rope, which was like wrapped around his torso multiple times, and I think between his legs, so just wrapped all around him.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And he was taken, it said, to a local marina. And yeah, this was unfortunate that like a spokesperson for the sheriff's office then told a gathering crowd of reporters that Pat's death was a suicide.
Oh, fuck. You don't know that.
I know, it's really hard to not, like, try and depict it without opinion or whatever. But
Yeah, but like you just found his body. You can't rule anything.
and that's what the
Really?
source said. Yeah. It was
Wow.
like this was before the medical examiner had arrived. So whoever
Yeah.
if and when that happened, that was really dumb, I think.
Yeah, especially to like say that to the public.
Right? Like no comment, buddy. No comment.
Yeah.
Once the medical examiner got there, he requested they please get the fuck out.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Good for you. And eventually, the examiner's notes indicated that he died of a shotgun blast to the head, actually.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's. Jesus.
As soon as you said there was a fishing boat, then you had shotgun. Oh my god.
Yeah, like a rifle or something. They aren't sure,
Oh,
I guess.
and then they're not solved. I was like, what the hell? You know what else creeped me out? When yours was like fire, the boat was on fire. I was like, ooh, I like kind of already thought I was gonna call it like Crimes on the Water because that old song Smoke on the Water. And then I said
Yeah.
something in the intro about, ooh, all the stuff on the water, smoke, fire, and then you immediately were like, and the boat was on fire. And I was like, wait,
Yeah.
that actually is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Ooh. So, yeah, it's weird too. Mine is just as weird. Um, they had basically nothing to go on, no leads, as he had no known enemies. He was a well-liked professional, a perfectionist. He worked with many students, either in like the library at the local Palmetto High School. Um, Also, I think maybe in some other capacities, as like maybe a teacher or educator in some fashion, but um,
Yeah.
I think of working at the school library at the time of his death because many things called him a librarian. And like many students remember the impact Mr. Mullins, quote unquote, had on their lives. So, like, he was a beloved teacher, I believe.
Uh, yeah, that's so sad.
I know. Because everybody has like a teacher they remember like that, you know?
Yeah. Why can't people be like, this person was an asshole?
Right.
It's always, they lit up a room.
Why can't we speak ill of the dead? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, my daughter's screaming. Okay, anyway. Well, not screaming. She gets loud with her friends on the phone. Okay, later that year, in the fall of 2013, a fundraiser was held by Pat's family. With help from their community, their family was able to raise $10,000 in reward money for anyone with information. And then additional funding
Okay.
had brought that amount up to $25,000.
Damn.
But yeah. Yeah. There were so many unanswered questions, such as why was there no blood in or on the boat if he had been shot or shot himself, as they had initially alleged.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, where was the shotgun used to kill him? It was not
Yeah.
anywhere near there, just like he was not anywhere near the boat. Why was it called a suicide? Who would want to kill him? Did he see something? A drug deal, perhaps, some sources say.
A drug deal being committed by a 4-year-old.
Oh. Exactly. Start him
Oh,
young.
fuck.
Like, yeah, why would anyone, if that were the case, like kill themselves under these particular circumstances, tying yourself to a 25-pound anchor and shooting yourself in the face with a shotgun, causing you to fall into just 4 feet of water?
Oh,
Just
weird. Like,
so shallow, right?
huh. Did they say, like, he died from the shotgun blast or he had, like, drowned? Did they ever say?
The shotgun blast was what killed him. Like
Okay.
initially they had just told the family head trauma, then they said it was shotgun blast. But yeah, not drowning, no water was found in his lungs. Basically we get to the fact that like it didn't look like he had been in the water very long either, which is also sus, you know?
Yeah.
Like because it wasn't very decomposed, which was, yeah, that was my next point. It wasn't, why wasn't it more decomposed? And if he was held somewhere, like where was he all that time?
Yeah, how long was it from when he like
eight
went
eight
missing?
days after they found the
Oh
boat.
yeah.
So
Damn,
like maybe
okay.
9 days since he went missing. Yeah.
Yeah, especially 9 days in the water. A lot would happen.
Mm-hmm.
A whole lot.
They couldn't
Especially in
find any.
Florida.
I know. And manatee yeah, I don't know what I'm going with that. The manatees. There was no, they tried to find footage like because there was a railroad bridge somewhere nearby over the river that he had been on that had a camera, but you know how it's periodically like taped over the next day and stuff like that. They weren't
Ugh.
able to retrieve it.
What's the point of
Yeah.
having a camera if it tapes over that quickly?
Yeah, like they really get into it more again as I first learned on the episode of Unsolved, but I was just like, damn, another avenue that's no go. No purchase of a gun was ever found at a store on Pat's bank statement, so and he had never owned a gun, so it just didn't like really make any sense that he would do that.
Yeah, even if you're trying to hide a body, it doesn't make sense for somebody to drop him in 4 feet of water. Like, that's also bizarre.
Yeah, so you got the anchor as if to keep the body down, but it was that just to try and make it look like a suicide because it really still doesn't look like a suicide.
Yeah, we just need you in waist deep water. Nobody will ever find the top half of you sticking above the water, right?
Right? And some of those like the other cases when they are initially ruled suicide where they're like strangled or what, they are just infuriating to me where you're just like how
Yeah.
could that be your first thought?
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, he looked like he had almost just been dropped off. This was very inconsistent with oh, fucking fruit fly. Sorry. This was very inconsistent with being in there for a week. As Lori Baker, a forensic expert, said, it would be normal for a dead body floating in these waters to be, quote, scavenged within just a few minutes.
Yeah. Isn't there alligators and stuff around Florida?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know about in the river, but maybe, like, oh, yeah, this uh next statement. She also stated that blood can be smelt by sharks from up to half a mile away, and Tampa Bay is one of the most shark-dense bodies of water on Earth. So,
Damn.
something should have been there.
Yeah.
And as in your case, only one person has ever been officially looked at in any
Jeez.
capacity. I don't even know. Well, I respect officially, but
It's his
that's really
son or his wife.
no.
A disgruntled employee.
She was there with the boys. They all had an alibi.
A
Yeah.
student at the school that he failed
Oh
library class.
no.
I don't know.
Yeah. They're mad at the mean librarian. It's
Because of
actually,
late fees.
hey, they got rid of those, don't you know?
Oh.
I can borrow freely. But I'm usually pretty good. I was actually impressed with myself when I had borrowed like 9 books. I went, oops, I think I ordered too many. And then I was like, actually, I don't even think I had to like renew too many of them because you only have them for like a few weeks or whatever. Anyway,
Nice.
some of the authors I can zip through. Okay. So, this suspect, Damon Crestwood was friends with Pat's brother, whose name was Gray Mullins. And Pat and Damon were not particularly close. They were just, acquaintances through his brother. So it did seem odd to people when, after Pat's disappearance, he would change his behavior in ways like burst into tears at the mere mention of Pat's name, whom, again, he didn't know very well.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Try not to be so obvious. No, but be obvious, because I hope we get a resolution someday. Quote, Patrick's wife, Jill Mullins, recalled that Damon had told her of looking out on the Manatee River and how he would cry and sob for hours. Just why?
For hours?
Yeah, looking at the river, as you do. Just crying.
Just
like the
crying.
double rainbow guy. It's so beautiful!
Double rainbow all across the sky. Double rainbow.
Speaking in quote, speaking in Unsolved Mysteries, Mullins' family friend, Dr. Mark Sylvester, said, he was just a likable, dependable, admirable guy, but after Pat's disappearance, his behavior quickly became markedly different. End quote.
Yeah, that's a little suspicious.
It's just so much, but it's so circumstantial. Again.
Yeah.
Damon Crestwood's behavior became even more erratic after Patrick Mullins' body was found. He began to ask his friends if they would still be his friend, quote, if something happened, and if they would be there for him, without specifying what he meant.
Oh. Alanna, would you still be my friend if
we really had to hide that body, like all those jokes talk about. Your bestie's sitting in the jail cell with you. Sorry.
Yeah, if I called you late at night and said, if you could bring a shovel and meet me in the woods.
I'd like to say I'm that ride or die bitch, yes.
Bring some bleach, some rubber gloves, and some garbage bags.
Because I would hope you would have a good reason for it. And that's all I'm saying.
Right? Yeah.
I trust that person deserved it.
Right?
Oh, God.
Yeah, better be worth it.
All right. Yeah, the rest of that. Oh, yeah, I think that was still a quote. This coincided with Damon having annual mental breakdowns every January around the anniversary of Patrick Mullins' death. Dude.
Wow.
Dude, have some chill. Except don't. Then there was the Memorial Day event where Damon did the weirdest thing yet. It was the same year that he had disappeared, 2013. So before the death, because I guess Memorial Day is in like May. I had to look it up because we only have like Remembrance Day, which is in November. So I was like, wait.
Oh, okay.
So yes, it was before Pat had disappeared, but people thought about afterwards how Damon showed up at a gathering of family and friends and brought his dog. And Miles Mullins, who was Pat's son, says he remembered how he tied the rope around his waist in a very complicated, specific fashion, and then tied one end to his dog. And then after, they thought about how it was tied around his waist in the exact same way that Pat was after his death.
Yeah.
It's just a little weird. I'm like, who does that? Who ties their body to the dog? Like, just get a leash. What are you doing?
Yeah, like I've seen some people with, you can buy like, I don't know, it's almost like a belt that you can attach the leash to.
Oh, sure. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the retractable leashes that kind of go in and out. Yeah.
Yes, Gordo, I'm paying attention to you.
I know, he's providing a little background ambiance.
You're just a baby.
Yeah, just a couple more like little weird things. How Damon's boat had red stripes and was docked normally on the Manatee River near the opening of Tampa Bay, near where Pat's body was found. So there was a bit of red paint that had uh, been scraped onto Pat's boat that they
Oh,
really,
okay.
yeah, and they really wanted to test the red paint like before, like they wanted to test it, and Damon didn't want them to test it. Whatever. So it wasn't until after Damon died from the crystal meth he began abusing after Pat died
Oh
that they
my
were able to
god.
test it. Yeah, so in April 2017, he overdosed, unfortunately, on
I
crystal
was
meth,
not
I
expecting
guess.
him to be doing math all of a sudden.
I know. You're like,
I would
no.
never have guessed that was your next sentence.
And they said it started around the time that Pat died, almost like it
Yeah.
was some sort of stress response. I don't know, just speculating.
Huh.
So some people say we'll never know. I fucking hope that's not the case. It at least was reclassified as a homicide by the FBI in 2020. One of the only good things to happen that year.
Yeah.
And then it was featured on Unsolved Mysteries in 2022. And it was season 3, episode 7, called "The Body in the Bay."
Huh.
Yeah, and just to I don't know, reinforce and again a little bit more about Pat. Like, he was only 52 when he died, which is very sad. But I just think he was like really happy place in his life. He was looking forward to things, obviously not suicidal. He wasn't depressed. He was looking forward to his retirement, to having grandkids, to like teach them all the boating knowledge, and he wanted to open a boat
Yeah.
repair shop with one of his brothers, and he was looking forward to his 30th wedding anniversary. So he was just very happy.
Yeah.
I plug my thing in computer. And
That's really weird.
sorry. It's so weird. And I was like, he was just so loved that the motive's weird. And also, like, it's cute how, like, he would help students that had problem with, like, paying entrance exam fees, like SAT fees. I don't know. We don't have those tests here, but, like, he would, like, help
Yeah.
out with students that couldn't afford exam fees. And, like, now they still do that, like, kind of in his honor, which is really sweet. So
Yeah, that's nice.
yeah, that's something nice to think about or focus on.
Yeah.
And hey, at least only one person died in mine. Dark humor. Pat recently got a
So-
t-shirt that says "Dark humor is like food, only some people get it."
Wow.
That's how we roll in this house, right, bitches? Because you gotta be able to laugh, because otherwise we'll cry.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry. This is why I don't get notes that say, "You guys are so respectful for the victims," because I try to be, and then I'm like, and now I have to make a joke, because I'm so uncomfortable.
Right? Like,
This
what
is
do
how we
I
deal with
do?
things in my family. No. He's purring. He's having such a good time.
Buddy. I know, he's so happy right now.
As he smashes his face into the mic again.
Yeah.
We should have called you Mike. You're always on the mic.
Oh, don't put your face on it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, damn. We had two crazy cases.
They're real thinkers. Yeah.
They are. Like,
I don't even.
yeah, like the motives on both of them are so non-existent. Like, nobody seemed to benefit. No, nothing.
Right.
Like, Yeah.
I need there to be another. If it was a book I was reading, I'd be like, I don't know. The main person has to find out some more information because we're not going to solve this case based on what we have. It's
Yeah.
just frustrating, like a dead end. Yeah.
Well, at least yours they've like reclassified as like a murder, cause
Yeah.
mine they're like case closed. We had our man, but we botched the investigation. We're done. That's what.
Yeesh. That's
Moving on, which I'm sure the family is like, I wouldn't want like their like sibling.
right.
I think Mark had a sister. I can't remember her name. Like, it wouldn't.
My God, they were only 28. Their parents were
Yeah,
just barely seniors. Yeah.
yeah. Like,
I feel like that whole area must remember that and wonder. So I hold out hope. There's some that we just still go to our graves with, which it just must be 10 times worse for the families. But
oh yeah,
yeah, that one. It's like, yeah, the whole family almost got wiped out. Now it's only the older generation. I don't get it. That one's gonna really bug me too. I can see why it's stuck in your head.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple things that sound familiar in your case, but I don't really remember hearing it before. But for some reason, a couple things do sound a little familiar. But
I should have put the pictures because, like, it is weird kind of the way the rope was found, and then they tried to do recreations where they're like, can you sit here with a rope around your body and an anchor tied to it and then shoot yourself? And how would that work? And you're just like, it wouldn't. It just seems too elaborate. You know, it's so weird when people try to cover it up like that. And you're like, that didn't work. Like, we still know it was a murder. But we can't figure it out, unfortunately. Yeah. It's fucking annoying.
yeah. Wow.
That's why next week, no more crime.
I was gonna say, damn, how do we transition this?
I know, it's the worst. They have the same problem literally every week on And That's Why We Drink, where they end with Christine's segment, which is the crime, and then she's like, well, sorry. I'm like, I love you guys. You guys still sound like us.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had the idea to revisit some more haunted AF shit, like some haunted places. So I'm excited about that. Yeah. It should be fun. And at least the people that have died there died a long time ago.
Yeah. Jesus.
I don't know. I got nothing else. What else were we talking about even before? Nothing really. I didn't watch the Golden Globes, but I heard Nikki Glaser killed it again with her quips and her hosting, and that's
I didn't watch it.
That's positive this week.
I saw some of the red carpet looks.
Oh yeah, Demi Moore won an award after a long time or something. Good for her.
I really liked the Substance. I know you and Pat didn't watch it yet.
No, but I want to.
It's wild. It's a movie.
There's so many I want to see. I want to see Nosferatu.
Yes.
Which I think my sister saw, but then my kiddo wants to go see Sonic 3, so that's probably what I'll end up seeing next. Anyway.
Yeah. Gordo, you're upside down now. Don't bite me.
All right, well, sorry or you're welcome that it's a little bit shorter this week. It's probably under 2 hours. Ooh.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think my segment was under an hour. Yours is under an hour.
Very consumable. You can listen on your way to work, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what your life is. All right. Well, we'll catch you next time. Until then, keep it cryptic.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Keep your cat happy.
I pet him, I can hear static in my headphones. It's like crackle, crackle. I'm like, "Boop."
He's such a diva.
He is. He was fine all evening. As soon as we start trying to record, he's like, "Pat me, aren't you? Aren't you?"
That's the only way Fenrir wants to be petted. It's like, when I sit directly on you, then you will pet me.
Huh?
All right, I'm gonna stop dish one. Thank you for listening to Castles and Cryptids. We love all our listeners and appreciate every subscriber, every new review, every listen, rate, and download. Our music is by Kobe Off Air, and our cover art is by Antonio Garcia. We are also a proud member of Darkcast Network, where you can find the best and spookiest of all indie podcasts. Follow us on social media, where we are at Castles and Cryptids on mostly all of the things, now including TikTok. Check out our bonus content on Patreon. Cryptid clashes, video minisodes of your hosts making asses of themselves, Ask Me Anything, quizzes, other special episodes, and more. Starting at just $2 a month, you can get 1 to 2 extra episodes, depending on your level. We produce, edit, and research everything ourselves, and any support you can lend helps us to keep it cryptic. That.
Yeah.
One of my last page I printed out ended up just being like one source today. I was like, oh damn, why did I even print that?
Yeah, I hate
Wasted
that. I can't
paper.
even have my notes on my computer if it's just like just the sources on the last page. I'm like, can I figure out the spacing so this doesn't happen? I just can't have a I can't.
Ugh.
So stupid. It's like it's literally meaningless. Hey buddy, are you
Just
gonna
like
lay
life.
down? Yeah. Aw, I know, you're so cute. Yeah. Gordo snores, but
He snores.
well, he was like, oh.
Here, let me open up our. Yeah, I want to have Patreon open so I can.
Boop. I booped the snoot. Yeah.
She pooped
You're
the
upside down.
snoot.
Yeah, I put that,
There we go.
I added that little Cheeto cat patch you gave me to the wall I have in front of me so that I
Did
can
you?
look at it when we record. I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, it's
There we
perfect.
go.
It fits right in on the podcast collage. I got one side that's like weird, spooky, cryptid stuff, and I got other stuff that's kind of from like, excuse you.
Sneeze.
Yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
more like traveling little other trinkets. Yeah.
Oh, cute. I'm trying to develop the space in here too. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, of course.
We captured that cat sneeze perfectly.
That's how they.
Let's go on in the outtakes.
Achoo! Excuse you, El Gordo.
I don't know. Maybe he approves of the cat patch. Sorry, it's all black cat Gordo, but that's what they had.
Yeah, the attention to detail is pretty good.
Yeah, they had
Let's
another.
see, like,
what
is it? Is that Tony the tiger? Is that the Cheeto guy, or is that the cereal?
He's the Frosted Flakes cat.
Okay, then who's what's the Cheeto? What's the Cheeto?
Does he have a name? Oh,
I don't know.
Cheetos guy.
Cheetos guy. Toes full of cheese guy.
Should I ask Rain? She'd probably, if I cut her, she'd probably bleed Cheetos.
Damn.
Savage.
When I was young, I probably like bled Doritos. I loved Doritos.
Doritos. That's the other Patch. His name is Chester Cheetah.
Oh yes.
I think there was another Patch, and it was like another cat or something, and its head was in a Doritos box or bag or something, because it's like, just oft enough to be the off-brand one.
Cute. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Love it. All right.
Funny. All right, we'll start. There's a bug. It's bugging me.
I gotta take the lid off my drink. It's like way too hot still.
Oh, it's hot.
Yeah, I made some tea. I was gonna drink, but yeah, I made it at like, I don't know, half an hour ago. It's letting it cool off. It's so hot.
Jesus. It's a intense thermos or whatever.
Yeah.